Good morning. Good morning. I hope everyone loves that opening because I think I'm just going to keep it. I just started it. I didn't know where Julie was. I was like, where is Julie?
I'm right here. I'm so
There she
sorry.
is.
I had to.
I was like, where's Julie?
You
Where's
know
she?
what? If anybody is from New York, you understand that real estate waits for no man or woman.
This is true.
And I had to go look at an apartment this morning, and I'm running a little late, so I
Oh,
apologize.
it's okay. I just didn't. I was like, is she sleeping?
No,
Did
no.
she go out for a walk?
Oh, in this weather? Are you crazy? No. I did not sleep well last night because my dog was up all night being sick. So we don't know what's
Oh
wrong with him.
gosh.
He was crying all
Poor
night.
Hagrid.
No,
Oh, poor
Hagrid, I know.
Hagrid.
Not sure. He was crying all night and he was kind of running over to my side of the bed and kind of needing to be like hugged. And then he was running to my husband's side of the bed.
Oh
Um,
no.
I don't know what happened. What's going on with him?
Was he like getting sick?
He threw
Like
up,
throwing up kind
he
of
threw up,
thing?
he threw up yesterday morning, but then he was fine. He's been eating fine, but I don't know what's going on. It's a little disconcerting. And I would say I take him to the vet, but it's 9 degrees outside. So I don't know. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how he does.
Poor baby, poor baby.
Who knows?
Um,
I also did not sleep
well,
well.
hoping Hagrid feels better soon. I mean, I empathize as my cat. If you watch this show or any of our shows, I've been talking about my cat who has IBD, which is
Oh,
often confused with IBS, which is it is not. Inflammatory bowel disease is different. And think about in humans, right? Like ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, things like that. They're chronic illnesses, and my poor little kitty's got that. And so dogs can get it too. I mean, not to say that Hagrid has that, but it's
yeah,
just like it sucks when they get sick and they can't tell you. You
I
know, you
know. He
don't know
definitely
what. How, you're like, I don't know how to help you.
no, he definitely is telling us because he's been licking his I mean, he's just I don't know what's going on with him. So,
Aw.
sweet little boy, and I couldn't sleep because he couldn't sleep, and I
When
one
they cry like that too, and they're
I don't know, at about 2 o'clock in the morning, my husband took him for a walk because we thought maybe he needed to go out. So my husband got dressed and went downstairs and took him up and down the block, and then he came home and went back to bed. And then about an hour later, Hagrid was still crying. So I got up and I sat on the floor with him and gave him hugs and kisses and just petted him.
Oh, he just wanted to feel safe because it's like scary. He's like, what's happening to me?
I know. It's really funny how they're like babies, like they need their mom when they're sick.
Yeah, it's true. It's
Yeah.
true. I know with Ollie, Heidi, I just saw that your cat Charlie has IBD. I'm just like, it is such a thing that I did not even know existed.
I know.
And like I read so many Reddit threads, I've watched so many YouTube videos. The vet kept giving him this food that I realized was making him sicker.
Oh,
And I've had to go through all of these foods. Trust me, I've spent a small fortune on this trying to
that's the
figure
thing.
out.
We spend more money on. I've spent more money on Hagrid's healthcare in the 4 years that I've had him than I have
Yeah.
spent on my child's. The 13 years that I've had him. So
But that's like what we do, you know. You sign up to I just realized my light wasn't on. You sign up to, you know, adopt a dog or a cat or an animal, you know, or if you maybe buy one of the animals or whatever it is, you're like, I'm going to give this animal a home and I'm going to take care of them because they can't take care of themselves. And, you know, it's just what we, especially in New York, vets cost 1 million American dollars.
$1 million. Yeah.
$1 million.
Um. Uh. Anyway, so Michelle,
Mm-hmm.
what's going on? Michelle, and I've had a very long week. We've been
Eventful.
working.
I don't
We
have a stitch of makeup on my face this morning, if that tells you anything.
Me
Because
neither.
I usually come in like a little bit of a beat. There's no
Yeah,
beat today.
we're working on a project, a non-May Day related project that got a little bit stressful at the
Mhm,
end, but it all worked out. But after that,
mhm.
I think Michelle, you went out last night and did you have
I
many drinks?
did. I mean, I guess you could say go out.
Yeah.
But so my friend Anna, who I talk about often,
Yep.
she is a 3G, which means like third generation Holocaust survivor. It was her grandparents and her great grandmother actually.
Yeah.
And so she and others started 3GNY. It's an organization for the 3Gs, and they provide education for children and businesses and all, all different kinds of people and places to tell the stories, personal stories of their families. Because as we all know here, right, when you tell a personal story, you pass that on to someone else. It humanizes this horrible thing that happened. And she tells the story of her grandfather or whatever. So, anyways, she invited me to Shabbat last night, and with a Holocaust survivor.
Oh,
She was just a little girl, obviously. It's been many, many years now. So she was very, very little. And so she told the story of surviving the Holocaust in Belgium, and how her father, I was just like, oh my God, it broke my heart. She told a story about how a lot of her family had been taken, and her uncle had been put in this factory thing that the Germans had built to make military equipment. But there was a guard that was at this factory that could be bribed. And so her father was like, I'll go run the air. And so she's like, I'm going to take this money over to this guard and get my brother out. But it was a trap, and the Nazis and the Gestapo got him. And she was like, because she was originally supposed to go with him, and she was like 3 or 4 years old.
yeah.
Said she sat there, and her dad said to her, "Leave your coat on. I'm going to be right back, and we're going to go for a walk." And she said, "I sat in my window, and I waited and I waited, and I never saw my father again." And I'm just like I mean, and the thing is, I'm sitting in this very small theater with people whose families have told similar stories to them their whole lives. And still there was this collective groan, and so I think she said it was the White Brigade, I think, was like the resistance in Belgium and Brussels. And there was a whole like underground network where they would hide people. And so they hid her at a farm, and she was separated from her mother for many, many years. And it's just like you don't we just don't know what people went through just to survive. And like the Holocaust was not a story of survival. It's just what we hear because they're
Yeah.
the ones that are able to tell their story. And so um, I mean, despite it being, obviously a very sad story, it was really inspirational to see this woman. She's a doctor. This is her. This is the flyer. Dory Katz. And she was born in 1939. And
Oh,
so
really a little girl when this all
she was
happened.
little. She said she was telling us that the first memory she has of her life was her mother taking her to the train station to hand her off to a stranger to take her away and hide her. And she's like, I remember hearing my mother's heels run away from me. She's like, because she goes, my mother told me later, and her mom had survived, because she had too, and had fault like fake papers that they had made. And she said, she goes, my mom said, if I hadn't run, I never would have left you. I mean, it's just like, and you hear all of this that people were saying, or that she was saying yesterday. All I could think of is like, oh my God, it's happening. It's
You
happening
guys,
again.
it's happening. And I said this to my husband, and I said this to you, Michelle. I think we talked about this yesterday, but my husband and I talked about it again last night. And for somebody who's asking in the chat if I'm a real estate broker, I'm not a real estate broker. I was looking at an apartment to buy. I'm not that I was trying
It's
to
so
sell.
grown up of you,
Yeah,
Julie.
I know. Definitely not a real estate broker. As if you saw my apartment, you'd understand why I could not be a real estate broker. It is a complete and utter clutter mess. Anyway, so no, the I was talking to my husband about this because, um, you think about what you would have done in 1930s and 1940s Germany or Belgium or France or any of these places, and the reality is, you probably would have said, if you had a heart, "Oh, those poor Jews," and then you would have moved on with your day.
Hmm.
And that's what's happening now. I mean, listen, let's be very clear about what happened. There is a 5-year-old boy,
Yeah.
a 5-year-old boy named Liam Conejo Ramos, who was not hiding, right?
Mm.
And his family was not evading the law. They entered through a legal port of entry and they applied for asylum. They checked in repeatedly with immigration authorities, and they did everything the United States
They did
asked
everything. Yeah.
because that is what the law required. And because they did everything, right, ICE knew exactly where to find them. So what is
Mhm.
going to, you know, when they talk about going after criminals, they're
Oh,
not
yeah.
they're not going to find the criminals because the criminals are hiding, but they have quotas to fill. So instead of
Yeah.
going after people who it's hard to find, like the criminals, they're going after people who are telling them exactly where they are because they're playing by the rules. I mean, think about how sick that is.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's she said this story. She's like, when the Nazis invaded, that she said that there was, like, a thing that you had to fill out, and everybody had to do it, and you put your name and whatever, and then you had to put your address, and then if you were Jewish, you had to write Jewish, and it was all part of a database,
Of course.
and it wasn't they didn't do it right away. She's like, everybody kinda settled in, and slowly, 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 they would go door to door because they knew where everybody lived. And she's like, in Brussels, she said in Brussels they didn't have the ghettos like they did in Poland, but they had other things that they would bring people to.
Yeah.
And she was very I when she says here, let me see, a year before the Germans occupied Belgium, her father and entire family, with the exception of her mother, were deported in 1942. It's a
Where,
very
where were they deported?
to Auschwitz.
Oh. I'm sorry. I
The
thought you
rest of her
oh,
family.
yes, for family. Yes.
But deported is the word. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, saying that, like, they were deported. Yes, they were rounded up. Yes, they were stolen. Yes, they were kidnapped, and they were sent to Auschwitz. But they were deported.
And
It was an industrialized deportation effort.
of course, it's the
Do you know
same.
what I mean? And, like, that's a piece of this that is missing from that story that can inform this moment that we are living in. You know? And, Amy asked, "Did you see the video of the ICE agent telling a woman that was recording that added her name to a domestic terrorist database?" Yes, I did see that video. I did see that video.
What's going to happen when the next Democratic president comes in, should that ever happen, is there are going to
Mhm.
be a lot of political prisoners. I don't even know, Michelle, you and I might be some of them, but they're, because it's only year one, there's 3
I
more to
know.
go at least.
I'm kind of, like, at this
Yeah.
place, I'm like, oh
And
yeah."
there's going to be, the prison doors are going to swing open, and a lot of people who are political prisoners are going to walk out.
Mhm.
Think about that. I mean, think about that. I know it's really heavy on a Saturday morning. That's not what the show's about.
Yeah.
So maybe we should just move on. But it's, it's kind of, I mean, the parallels are just insane,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
striking.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then there's the other thing, which I sent you this morning. I don't know if we have that clip. It's not funny. It's actually not funny.
It's not, like, okay. It's funny in the way that it's ridiculous and you kind of can't believe it's happening, and because Donald Trump is a ridiculous, ridiculous person, um, but it's also horrifying. It's horrifying, guys. So, we all know that Donald Trump wants to destroy Washington, D.C. to make it his tomb. We might as well just name it Washington or Trump DC. He's destroyed the East Wing. He's put up his gaudy Home Depot gold painted crap everywhere to make it look like a discotheque. And he wants to do the same to the mall. And he has floated 3 designs for his Independence Arch in DC. My God. So there is, yeah. So let's just read it. Trump, in a January 23rd, which was yesterday, on Truth Social, released an image detailing 3 renderings, each with slightly different features, of the arch he wants to build on the opposite side of the Arlington Memorial Bridge from the Lincoln Memorial. All 3 arches have American bald eagles and the words "The Independence Arch" atop the structures. One of the images shows an arch with gold accents, much like Trump's revamped Oval Office in the White House. It also has Roman-style statues depicting 2 unidentified women. Guys,
I guess the one on the very right is the least gaudy.
Arc de Trump. Arc de Trump. Here's my thing. The one in the middle, because I can't tell. Who are the men in that statue? There's
Is it
2
men?
men.
Or is
Well,
it one?
there's okay, so all the way to the left, right, there's 2 women,
I don't see the women.
like the gold statues, right? Like on either side, in between the columns,
Oh,
there's
I
like
missed it.
gold women, I'm from what I can tell. But in the middle one is 2 men. And I'm like, who are they? And are they Donald Trump?
All right. Here's the story. I said it before and I'll say it again. If this monstrosity should ever go up
Mhm.
as the first act of business through an executive order, you don't have to go through Congress because he didn't. You don't have to go through the Capitol Commission or whatever it's called that has to approve all of these changes to, because he didn't, or he stacked the Capitol Commission with his own people. And
Yeah,
it's
I
like the
mean,
whole
yeah.
thing about like you can't fire them. Yes, you can. Okay. Yes, you can. You just do it. Here's what happens: you get a demolition crew and you blow that shit up as the first act of business for the next
Mhm.
president. Unless
Mhm.
I get a commitment from whoever the next Democratic presidential nominee is going to be, that they're gonna not do this as the first. And like this has to happen on day one because it
Mhm.
has to. It's a symbol that this
Yeah.
era is over and it's not
If
coming
I
back.
hear one person running for anything that's like, "Oh, we don't have we have bigger things to deal with to clean up this mess."
Nope,
Bullshit.
nope,
We can
nope.
multitask. There's a whole bunch of us. We'll handle it. I want some like Looney Tunes type TNT thing where they would do the thing, boom. That's what I'd like. And I think that I speak for many people. I want
All of us.
Looney Tunes style demolition.
Like
I want it to
Roadrunner, like
harder.
Roadrunner
Yes.
shit. Yeah.
Yes. You mean yes. And then I want it to go boom. That's what I
Yeah.
want.
Yeah.
Nothing less.
You know when? You know when? At 12:01 a.m. on January
Mhm.
2029
That's right.
PM. Sorry, not AM, PM.
Yeah.
As they're taking the oath of office in the Capitol,
Mhm, I wanna hear boom.
I want to hear boom because
Mhm.
it's far away enough that it's not going to endanger anybody. It's not.
Yeah.
It's if you know Washington,
Controlled demo.
control. Yep, control demo.
That's what I
Yep.
want. Nothing less.
I don't want to hear
Nothing
21 gun
less.
salute. I want to hear that shit.
I wanna hear the 1812 overture.
That's exact. Boom.
Boom. Yes. And then I want the ballroom.
I think I see an ad, Michelle.
I want the ballroom. I want the Arc de Trump. I
Yep,
want all of it.
all of it.
All of it. Anything with his name on it. Boom. All of it. Go.
That's literally. I'm not kidding. I'm not going to vote for you if you're not going to do that. You want my support in the Democratic primaries? You're going to do that.
Listen, listen. I have had it. I have had it with Democratic leadership. I have had it. And here's the thing about this too. And I was actually messaging with another creator yesterday about this with a big account, right? There is this kind of even just with like the creators and like the
Yep.
DNC kind of people, there is a divide. Just so people know, there is a divide. There are the people who are like, we all need to support each other and like we have to be united. And I'm like, and I don't disagree with that. We can't be like doing infighting and things. However, we do have an obligation to demand from the people we are electing that they're going to do something, anything. I don't care what it is, do something. Because standing around and going, "Oh, well, we're not in a majority. We can't do anything."
I don't.
Uh,
I don't care.
try. Try. Literally anything. Stand on the Capitol steps every single day and recite the Declaration of Independence. Whatever it is, make a spectacle. Be dramatic. Make theater and do it non-stop. Nonstop. And I'm seeing from Mikey, big props to Michelle in the new Seneca video. That's actually not mine. I left the Seneca project a couple weeks ago. I don't think I've made anything since like late November over there. So props to them for doing that. So just wanted to make it clear that I'm not taking credit for someone else's work. But so, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. I will not support anyone. And we talked about this too because we live in Chuck Schumer's state. I'm going to call his office continuously and say, if you don't do something, we're going to vote you out. I don't miss an election. I vote in every election, big or small. And there will be a coalition of people who will not support you. I've had it.
Yeah, just to be clear, last February when the big beautiful bill passed, with Democratic support, I might add, they allocated money to ICE so that if you defund the Department of Homeland Security this year, you'll be defunding FEMA, you'll be defunding all sorts of things, but you're not going to be defunding ICE. And that was done on purpose, right? So Donald Trump could have his Gestapo funded no matter what. Chuck Schumer did that. Any Democrat that supports this shit has got to go. Like, I don't think these people in Washington appreciate how angry the base is.
No, and like we're not like far lefties. That's the other thing. And I was talking to this creator about this. I was like, Julie and I are like pretty moderate. Like we're like moderate, practical Democrats, very progressive on some things, not on others, I guess. I don't know. I said my point is like we're not super lefty, like radical people. We're just normal, run-of-the-mill people who have had it. And we're not the only ones. There's a lot of us. And the American people are sick of it. We need leadership.
100%. I mean, again, to me, this is not about ideology. It's not about whether you believe in Medicare for all versus a public option. Versus,
it's
versus like what you think marginal tax rates should be, whether you think that you should abolish billionaires or tax them at, a 90% tax rate. Like, it's not about that.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, I don't necessarily align with AOC on policy all the time. Probably,
some things.
If I had to guess, probably I align more with Chuck Schumer. However, if she ran against Chuck Schumer, I would run to vote for AOC because I want somebody who knows how to fight. Like my Canadian friends, I need elbows up.
For real.
I need elbows up. And I got to tell you, all of these people who are talking about reforming ICE instead of defunding it going forward. Now, I understand you can't defund it now because of the big, beautiful bill, but there are other appropriations that will come up that could.
And hold shit up. Hold up confirmations.
Everything. But they don't know how to communicate. So they're like, oh, we're going to be accused of holding up things.
Oh, please.
How about you learn how to communicate?
I was like, would you rather be accused of like doing that or aiding and abetting fascism? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
here's the thing. ICE is not meant to solve immigration. Right. Because if the immigration crisis were actually solved, there would be one less grievance for Republicans to run on. So let's start with that. What ICE is actually meant to do is to terrorize people visibly. Its behavior is meant to send a message far beyond any single arrest, including of little Liam, that there's no safe way to exist inside the system, that asylum doesn't offer any shelter, and even children are fair game. That's what we're voting for.
Yeah. Like the bar is so low right now. I'm like, the American people want a few things. They want to grow old. They want to be healthy. They want to be able to afford healthcare. Hell, we'd love to have socialized medicine in this country. Wouldn't that be great? They'd like to have job protection. They'd like to not be taken advantage by corporate assholes and private equity buying everything in the world. Because everything that we used to enjoy is now owned by private equity.
Yeah. And you want to know why, by the way, there's a housing crisis in this country? Because guess who's buying up all? You know that Sean Hannity owns a tremendous number of apartments in Florida?
I'm not surprised.
Driving up prices.
Yep.
Right? Yep. Airbnb, God bless. I've used it a lot.
I know, but they're big Trump people. I won't use them
Well,
anymore.
but I'll tell you this, Airbnb, the reason that it's so expensive is because Airbnb buys a property, and instead of
Mhm.
having people live there, they use it as
Yep.
income.
Yep. 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 Verbo is better, just in case everybody. If you don't want to give money into the Trump world, use Verbo. It's better.
But I have to say, like, reforming ICE won't stop these atrocities because, again, you can't reform an agency whose mission it is to snatch legal migrants off the street because they have a
You
quota to
can't
fill.
reform Nazis.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. They have a quota to fill, and where they're going is where it's low-hanging fruit, which is where they have the addresses of people who've done everything right and have told the government where they are. If you disappear and you go hide,
Mhm.
it's going to be harder to find you.
Yeah,
But these,
especially because
yeah,
we're all trackable with this. And I'm like, this is why I'm like telling people, I was like, get a VPN at the very least. Get a VPN for your phone. That's bare minimum. But
yeah.
like the cyber part of this too. And also there's cameras and surveillance like everywhere. I mean, the fact that we're even having this conversation is so insane. It's so insane. Like I don't want to say I can't believe this is happening. I absolutely can believe it's happening, but it's just it's horrifying. It's horrifying. How do you get a VPN? I use
Nord Stream, right?
Nordisk or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's what I use. I feel like it's like, I don't know, $70 a year or something like that. And you just install it on your phone and it basically like hides your IP address and it makes things more encrypted on your, it's just, you know, it's a good thing to have. And I feel like people who I know who work in like national security and stuff, they were like, get VPN, so and people in the military too. I remember my sister-in-law telling me to do that. Proton VPN is excellent. Someone is saying in the chat, I use NordVPN. See, there you go, Nord. Everyone's saying Nord. That's what I use. I use ExpressVPN. See, all different kinds of things. But yeah, I mean, it's you can't be too careful with this stuff. Use Signal app. It's just more secure. And the apps on the phone itself track you. That is absolutely correct too. And like, that's why I refuse to download the Twitter app. I refuse. I deleted TikTok off my phone last night and I deleted my account. That sucked because I'm not even like a TikTok person, but I love to scroll it because then like watch fun new things. But I was like, you know what? Not doing this. Not doing it. So same with Facebook. I refuse to have Facebook on my phone. I don't even have an account anymore. I have Instagram, which basically the same thing, but
Yeah.
It's this is the world we're living in. And it's all very depressing. It's all very depressing.
Well, Michelle, what are you up to this weekend? Speaking of not depressing stuff, are you doing anything?
Well, Joe wants to take our Christmas tree down, which is still up. It's just really pretty and it's big and I don't want to carry it.
Leave it up.
I think he wants to take it down today because obviously the storm's coming tomorrow. But
Where would you
it? Well, we put it in storage a few blocks away. So
Oh,
what we do, we have this big laundry cart. And so we put it comes into a big thing. So one of them we put in there and we strap it down with bungee cords and the two of us push it
oh my God.
down.
Oh my God.
It's a thing. It's a whole day's project. It's very heavy, but and also like the new storage thing I bought for it hasn't arrived yet. So maybe it'll and it's too cold. I feel like it's too cold. That wind when it just
Have you been outside?
Not today, but last night I was in like tights and I was like, this was a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very cold, very, very cold. But
I have been working so hard that I had not left the house in 4 days. And then
it was longer for me, much longer. I had not left the house in like 10 days.
That's not good. We work, I mean, like Michelle and I have to say, I don't know if other people have this, like we work so hard on so many different things that I think like something's got to give here. Like I was thinking about this. I have not gone for a walk.
Yeah.
I haven't gone.
So cold though. That's for me, like that's why I start to hibernate.
Yeah.
Like a bear.
Anyway, I went to MS
now
yesterday.
Very short hit, by the way. Very short.
My hit? Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
very short hit.
You were like, talk for like a second, and then they're like,
Yeah.
bye.
Yeah. I got my
Yeah.
point across, but,
Yeah.
I didn't get interrupted unlike Scott Jennings. Um,
Interesting.
interesting.
By the way, have you heard from CNN since then?
No, what a coincidence, Michelle.
Interesting.
I've not heard from
Interesting.
CNN. I think I am
Yes.
banned from CNN after that Scott Jennings thing. I may be wrong. Maybe they'll call me next week, but I don't think so. But the funny thing is, I go walk in to see MSNBC, and I see one of the makeup people there who I've known a really long time, MS Now, and she out of nowhere she goes, "I fucking hate Scott Jennings."
Don't you feel though like so in case people don't know, so Julie was on with Scott Jennings. It was what, last Saturday?
Last Friday.
Last Friday.
Last Sunday. Sorry, last
Sunday, whatever. Yeah. One of those days that I was inside. And Scott, in his Scott way, interrupts Julie, basically says she's a liar. This is a very common thing he does. And when he gets, when he has to share a screen with a woman with an opinion, he like freaks out like a little bitch. And so Julia like let him have it. And then after, she went and wrote this Substack that went super, super viral. But the thing about it is that it has opened the floodgates for everyone else. Everyone is just lighting into him. Everybody.
Even Chris Cuomo got on the bandwagon. He's like, "You want to fight me? I'm going to kick your ass." I'm like, why is Chris Cuomo into this chat?
You want to fight me?
There's this thing. You literally Chris Cuomo puts out some like TikTok or Insta reel or something, and he's like, "Scott Jennings, you want to fight?"
He's such a douchebag.
I'm like, what the hell is going on?
For him to he called himself a lovable rascal on that pod. I was like, no, you're not lovable, and I wouldn't even put you in a rascal category.
I mean, what
he thinks he's Eddie Haskell. I'm like, no, Eddie Haskell had some redeeming qualities. You do not.
Eddie Haskell is nice to Mrs. Cleaver. He's not.
Yeah, he's like, hello.
That's not true. He is nice
to lovely.
He is nice to Mrs. Cleaver. He's nice to people who he thinks can help him.
Yeah, true. Yeah, Lee McGowan. Also let him have it. She was like, I mean, that was just.
She was great.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody. And I feel like also it, at least for myself, I can't speak for anyone else, it has opened up, it's opened up the floodgates for me to just start letting people have it in like the comment sections. and I'm unbothered by it. I am unbothered. Like, I'm not stressed out or even angry. I'm like, no, you stupid people are not coming into the comment sections anymore and saying stuff that isn't true because you love Orange Daddy and cognitive dissonance is a hell of a drug. Like, I wrote this thing on C-SPAN after the Davos thing, when he was like at the podium, right? And he's like leaning into the podium, like for dear life, like iron grip on that thing.
Yeah.
All I said in a C-SPAN video on Instagram was holding on for dear life. That's it. You think I would have said, wished him death or whatever? The people came for me. Somebody made fun of my nose. Like, it was just like, I was like,
your nose?
Yeah. So this one guy.
Your nose is fat. Well, by the way, yeah. I mean, that's their go-to, by the way. You're old, you're fat,
you're old, you're fat.
Yeah, you're old, like, you're like, and it's totally misogynistic. It's like, they'd never say that about a man, right? But it's like, you're old.
He's like, your nose, your big ass nose is holding on for dear life. And I was like, what? And then, I wrote back to him.
I'm sorry. I just almost like spilled my coffee all over my tea all over myself. You're like I
was like, first of all, that's not
the jerks were called and they're out of you. Like,
I was like, I don't have like a little button TV nose, but like, I don't know about that. Like, that's a bit much. But I was like,
oh,
but
Michelle,
also like, it's not even
nobody on TV was born with a button TV nose either.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. But and I was like, it's also just not a good joke. Like, it's not even good. That's the other part. But this man who I went to his Instagram, and he's a little bit like, he's hefty. And not that I would ever say this, but the quiet piggy line does work. I'm just saying. Yeah. And they shut up immediately. Yeah. And so I took a screenshot of this man's Instagram account and his face. and all the, the interaction. So I just started posting all of them to my Instagram stories and tagging all of them with all of their insane comments. So that like made me feel better too. But I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done allowing these people to say dumb stuff in my presence. If you're going to bring me into your idiocy, I'm going to like give it back to you.
Yeah, and they like I mean, I've been dealing with this since my Fox days, so it's just, crazy, but they always go to the woman part, like, "You're ugly, you're
Always,
fat, you're thin,
always.
you're old, you're."
Or sexual violence. That's there. It's
Yeah,
cute. Like you're ugly, you're fat, you're this, who's like, or you deserve to be raped, or like, you know what I mean? That's
yeah,
another one that's always fun.
yeah,
Mhm.
and I think, like, why I did that thing with Scott Jennings is for that reason, like,
Yeah.
you're gonna go and try to bully me, like, guess what?
Mhm.
I also used to be a bitchy high school girl, and I remember those days, and I know how to give it
Right.
back, and
Right, right, right. That somebody said hormonal, that's another one.
yeah,
Hormonal. She's
hormonal,
hormonal. Is she on her period?
hysterical,
Yeah.
hysterical, right?
Hysterical.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I get called the C word. If I don't get called the C
Oh
word
god. Yeah.
10
All
times
the
every day on
time.
Twitter, then, it's not a good day. But, um, it's like these guys have nothing better to do. And it's kind of interesting because I don't think I've ever gone on anybody's social media who I dislike, who I
Mhm.
disagree with, and I've been like, "You're fat, you're
Yeah.
old, you're the" like Donald Trump, "You're old, you're fat, you're seen" like, no.
Yeah. Oh, well, and here's the other thing. Okay, this is, and I did a thing on my Instagram at the Michelle Can, you can go watch it. I talk about the liberal white woman or the liberal white female. And we've talked about this and how like this is a big thing on the right now. They're all saying it. Donald Trump even wrote something or retruthed something on his Truth Social of someone saying, liberal white females are this,
Awful. Oh, it's
well,
awful.
and then the
Absolutely,
awful.
yeah,
That's the other thing. They're
yeah.
like, you're an awful. And I was like, what?
Remember how they got upset when Hillary called some of them
Mhm.
deplorable? But now it's totally okay to call us awful, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Affluent,
yeah.
white,
Yeah.
liberal, urban women.
Yeah, they're like, "You're an awful," and I was
Great.
like,
Yeah.
"What?" I was like, "That's just not." At first, I was like, "This is not proper English. Like, what is he saying? I'm an awful." But then I looked it up, and this is the new slur. It's a new slur to call women, especially white liberal women, because here's the thing: they see us as betraying our own gender, and we are betraying our race because they think that our duty in life is to get married, serve our man, pop out a bunch of babies, white babies, and repopulate America with white people. And this is white supremacy. That all of this, the through line here is white supremacy, which also, is not good for women anywhere. And so that's what all of this is about. And then they wonder why all of these young women are opting out. They're like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
I refuse.
Yeah.
Who wants to be a part of that? It's the good young men who understand and value women are few and far between these days, especially. These days, especially. And it's and then you just look at these comment sections and I'm like, Jesus Christ, you know? And somebody's wrote in the chat the Margaret Atwood quote, men are afraid that women will laugh at them. Women are afraid that men will kill them.
Yep. That's a
And
great
and
quote.
yeah, it's true. And I saw someone make the comparison of that quote to what happened to Renee Good. Because in the moments leading up to her murder, she was saying, and again, every woman recognizes this, trying to de-escalate a situation, trying to shrink yourself and appease a man who in front of you who is angry and trying to have to like take it down, take it down. Um, she was like, "It's okay, dude. I'm not mad. I'm not mad." And then her wife comes around and calls him like chunky or whatever it was. And like that was it. And she made fun of him. And that was enough to set him off. And he killed her. And that is what that quote is all about. Like what is the number one cause of death of pregnant women in the United States of America? murder by their partners. That is the number one cause of death of pregnant women in the United States.
Really? Not childbirth?
No. Number one. Mm-hmm. And that is very reflective of the moment we're living in. And again, we elected a rapist.
We elected a rapist, so what do we expect? He's going to come and grab. Listen, there was a Danish official. I forgot if he's a minister of parliament or what he is. But when Stephen Miller gave his little screed about how big countries take little countries, and that this has been the same way since the beginning of time. Basically might makes right. Mm-hmm. He said, and it was such a great comeback because he didn't argue on the merits. He didn't argue on, whatever. He just said, I hope that nobody allows young women around Stephen Miller because that is the mind of a rapist. Mm-hmm. And he was so right.
Yep.
He was so right.
Yep. Here it is. I have it right here.
Denmark is a tiny country with a tiny economy and a tiny military. They cannot defend Greenland. They cannot control the territory of Greenland.
If you could say one thing to Stephen Miller, what would you like to say?
I hope he's kept away from young women because that's the mentality of a rapist. You can't defend yourself, so I'm going to take you. That's basically what he's saying. And it has never been like that in international law that he's saying.
Denmark.
I mean, it has been that way with international, not law, but it has been that way. Stephen Miller is right. It's been that way through history. The reason we have the Pax Americana, or have had it until Trump blew it up in Davos this week, is precisely to change that paradigm, is to say that no, big countries protect little countries. So that if somebody comes after Denmark, big countries like the United States will come to their defense, and vice versa, because Danish people died for us in Afghanistan.
Well, that's the other thing. And that's the big story now, too, is basically he's like, NATO's never done anything for us or whatever. So all of these countries and people from them are like, screw you. So when we were driving up 6th Avenue last night, I saw on the Fox, that crawl that goes around the building. It was like Trump, I think he said like apologizes for comments or whatever.
Did he apologize? Did he?
I don't think so. I was like, what? I didn't hear that. When does Donald Trump apologize? Like, come on. And also, again, at Davos, he's like, people think I'm going to take it by excessive force, Greenland, but, I'm not going to do that. Now, again, the technicality here is excessive force. He didn't just say force and say he wasn't going to do it. Excessive to, probably so his cronies can buy on the dip. And then also, just because I'm sure people were all up in it being like, you need to stop. The stock market is reacting to this. However, yesterday, the White House puts this all over their social media. Now, mind you, this is the Canada Hates Trump account, which I enjoy. But if you're listening and not watching, it's an AI image of Donald Trump walking away from the camera, holding hands or holding wings with a penguin. The penguin has a American flag in its little wing hand, and with the Denmark flag in the mountains off in the distance. And Canada Hates Trump account says, penguins don't live in Greenland, but ignorance lives in the White House. This is the thing. This isn't going away. He's not going to stop. And also, like, enough with these AI renderings. Like, I'm very tired of them. The White House loves them. They make them all the time. Just all the time.
Yep.
And, this is just, like, this isn't going away. And they've also, what did they say the other day? They're like, they're going to take Cuba by the end of the year. Okay, great.
All
cool.
right.
Love it. Awesome. This is not going to go well for anybody. Julia, I'm without words. I really am. I don't know how this ends. I really don't. I'm tired though. I'm so tired.
I don't know, but it's interesting because Prince Harry got into the chat yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that.
So Prince Harry Prince Harry just hired Sunshine Sachs, which is a big PR firm.
Okay. That's who represents his wife, right?
Well, no. So they used to represent her, and then before when she was an actress, and then
Yeah.
they all moved on, and then I guess now they're back.
Okay.
And Sunshine Sachs is great.
Yeah. They're the big.
Yeah,
big.
and they're very good. And Ken Sunshine and Sean Sachs, who run it, are good people, and they're a great firm. But now they're representing Prince Harry, and Prince Harry did something yesterday, which I think is incredibly unusual, which is that after Trump said that NATO never did anything for the United States, Prince Harry put out a statement saying that as a combat vet in Afghanistan, he saw X number, I forgot what it was, of coffins come back to Britain of British soldiers who were doing exactly that. And how outrageous it was, and so on and so forth. What is interesting is, of course, the royals are never supposed to engage in politics. It is completely beyond the pale. And I believe that Prince William and Kate Middleton, I think, are coming here this year for a state visit. I might be wrong about that. So for them, this is like a massive headache because obviously they're not supposed to ever get involved in any kind of political discussion.
Yeah. How's Piers Morgan going to spin this one?
Well, he's going to say that this is completely contrary to policy and you're a royal, you're not allowed to get engaged.
But right. I mean, he's obsessed with Meghan Markle. Obsessed. But also then, but when you say that though, then you are denigrating veterans. So this is a trap for him. I mean, he probably just won't even go near it. But like when you have people even like Rod Stewart making a statement, did you see that?
Yes.
I have it here.
Oh, play it. Play it. Sir Rod.
Did I load it? I have it. Hold on. Let me just load it in. I thought I
in the meantime,
here it is.
Yeah, let me just before you do that. Let me just say,
sorry, what?
Sorry, before that, let me just read what Trump said, right?
Okay.
We've never needed them. He's talking about NATO. We have never really asked anything of them. You know, they'll say they sent some troops to Afghanistan or this or that, and they did. They stayed a little bit back, a little off the front lines. 457 British personnel died in Afghanistan, second only to our own casualties. So, Rod Stewart, who's a Brit, who I believe lives here in the United States, but go ahead.
I saw him once at the Bed Bath & Beyond at 66th Street.
Rod Stewart lives in New York?
I don't know. This was like, I don't know, a handful of years ago. I was at Bed Bath & Beyond with my parents, and my dad was like, is that Rod Stewart? And he was in line in front of us. I was like, New York's crazy. He was just buying like sponges or something.
Let me tell you something. When that Bed Bath & Beyond on 66th Street shut down, my husband literally, I think, lost a little bit of a piece of himself. My husband was obsessed with Bed Bath & Beyond. I don't even understand.
It was a nice one. And now it's a Wegmans.
No, it's not because it never opened. It's supposed to be.
It didn't open?
No, that thing's been trying to be a Wegmans for like 2 years.
Nope. I thought it had opened by now.
No.
Oh.
Anyway, go ahead. Yes, Rod Stewart.
Okay, here's the Rod Stewart thing. Okay.
I may just be a humble rock star. I'm also a knight of the realm, and I have my opinions. I was born just after the war, and have great respect for our armed forces that fought and gave us our freedom. So it hurts me badly, deeply, when I read that the draft dodger Trump has criticized our troops in Afghanistan for not being on the front line. We lost over 400 of our guys. Think of their parents. Think about it. And Trump calls them almost like cowards. It's unbearable. So I'm calling on you, Prime Minister Starmer and Farage, please make the draft dodger Trump apologize. Please.
God bless.
God bless Sir Rod, a knight of the realm. I can't. Did you ever see that video of him for the "If You Want My Body"?
Yeah.
So it's hard to look at Rod Stewart and not think about that video because that video is.
I mean, I like the song "You're in My Heart." You're in my.
That's a great song. Yeah, I agree. But I mean, Prince Harry, everybody got in on the act.
Right. That's what I mean. It's like, and again, anybody who's pretending that they don't know who Donald Trump is by this point, I'm just like, you're either a liar or you need to have your head examined. But he continues to reveal himself, especially now that there's no like guardrails, none whatsoever. There are no adults in the room keeping him from saying the worst things, doing the worst things. And now it becomes more and more obvious that he'd said things like the suckers and losers. It doesn't matter how many times he denies it or people around. Like, of course he did.
Of course he did. And this is what Prince Harry said. In 2001, NATO invoked Article 5 for the first and only time in history. It meant that every allied nation was obliged to stand with the United States and Afghanistan in pursuit of our shared security. Allies answered that call. I served there. I made lifelong friends there, and I lost friends there. The United Kingdom alone had 457 service personnel killed. Those sacrifices deserve to be spoken about truthfully and with respect, as we all remain united and loyal to the defense of diplomacy and peace. Congratulations to the person at Sunshine Sachs who wrote that for Prince Harry, but it's very, very good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, very good.
Listen, the royal family is its own hot mess because, well, for all the reasons. But also I'm like Prince Andrew and his Epstein situation. And you've got Harry speaking out against the president of the United States. Like, it's just, people have their feelings about Meghan and Prince Harry, but I've always liked Prince Harry. I think that he seems like a good egg. All things considered.
I think he is a good egg. I'm not sure I would have given that interview, talking about inside laundry about my family, but whatever.
Yeah. It's funny because growing up, because William and I are the same age. He was born 2 weeks before me.
Oh God, and that makes me sad because I remember when he was born.
Oh well, 82 was a good year.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like my mom told me, she was like, I remember being like pregnant with you and like you were about to come, and then Princess Diana had her baby, and she was like, oh, my baby and Prince, the Prince of England's getting born at the same time. So, but growing up, it was like he was like kind of the hot one. He was like in all the all the magazines.
Prince William was actually pretty hot when he was young.
He was a little hottie, like teenager. Yeah. I mean, just growing up, like I remember being like, "Ooh, Prince William," and then that kind of stopped. He kind of got, I don't know.
Who, Prince William?
Yeah, and now Harry's the one everybody likes. I
mean,
not like in that way, but I think in just like any way.
Yeah, but now
Prince Harry talks about his brother's outer.
I don't know that I would have gone
in his book.
I don't know that I would have gone scorched earth.
Yeah. I have that book, the spare book. I have it.
Read it?
Yeah. I read some of it. Yeah. I have a hard time I have the ADHD reading situation. Yeah. Yeah.
I decided not to read it.
You're like, I just decided to go on living my life.
Yeah. Let me be clear. I love a little royal gossip. I mean,
that Substack.
Down for it all the time.
You told me to subscribe to. It's pretty good.
Which one? The Substack, the Royalist?
Yeah.
Do you subscribe to it?
I mean, I'm not a paid subscriber, but
I know that's the problem. You can't get past the wall. And then I'm like, am I really going to pay for this versus like my friends? I don't think so.
Yeah.
But it is. There's some good gossip. But did you watch The Crown?
Did I watch The Crown? Yes, I devoured it. I watched it 2 times through. I loved it.
I loved the first seasons. By the time they got to Princess Diana, I was a little bit.
Yeah. Claire Foy was so good.
The what?
Claire Foy was so good as Queen.
So
good. John Lithgow as Churchill, also amazing.
I know. I have a little problem with John Lithgow.
Why?
Because I had problems with John Lithgow, much like my little Chihuahua Grimace, who had
Is this like a Tony Danza story?
Sort of, but yeah. Maybe I should stop taking my dog so seriously and having grudges against celebrities who don't treat them well. But I was in Central Park, like this has got to be 15 years ago, with Grimace, and Grimace had a broken little leg that never healed. So Grimace walked like this, like one of his legs was like this, and he was perfectly mobile, but one of his legs was like this. He kind of hop on 3 legs. And one of my friends named him Dance's with 3 legs, like Dances with Wolves. We used to call them Dances with 3 legs. I did not like that. Anyway, Grimace was hopping along in Central Park. He was like this big. He was a little teacup chihuahua on his 3 little legs with this big underbite. And his eyes that constantly ran.
Oh.
So Grimace was the sweetest and the best looking dog to me, but I can understand why some people might not agree. And I don't forgive them for not agreeing, but I understand why they might not.
Yeah.
And we ran into John Lithgow. We didn't run into John Lithgow. It happened to be, if you're in Central Park on a nice day, you're going to see every celebrity on earth.
Oh my God, everybody.
You
Everybody.
want to go celebrity watching? Don't go to LA. Go to Central
Yeah. Go to the like outside the reservoir, like in that little area over there.
Yeah. Or even like, I think I was by I forgot.
The Van Shell or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was by the Van Shell. Anyway, so I see John Lithgow, and John Lithgow sees my dog and is like, "Oh my God." And just
That
keeps
is so
walking.
rude.
And I was like, "Oh my God, John Lithgow."
That is so rude.
It was so rude. He's like, "Oh my God." I know. Not necessarily to my face. I think just under his breath, but I heard it.
That is so mean.
I know. I know.
What? Oh God.
I
If I
know.
ever see him, I'm gonna be like, you insulted my friend's
I
dog.
know. So then many years later, John Lithgow ends up playing Roger Ailes in Bombshell,
Right.
the movie that purported to tell my story and the story of Gretchen Carlson and Megyn Kelly and other women.
But you did not participate in that
I
movie.
did not participate in that movie because I have an NDA. So there's some woman
Mhm.
who played me who I never met and could
Mhm.
not talk to, and she could not talk to me, and she never even bothered reaching out, which I thought was interesting. But that's not the point. The point is John Lithgow was not a good Roger Ailes. I just want to say that. He was not a good Russell Crowe was a much better Roger Ailes. So there's my answer to John Lithgow. Oh my God, your performance of Roger Ailes was not good. No, he never apologized. I don't think he even thought that wow.
Yeah. This
Meanwhile,
is Joe just brought me this bagel from the new Absolute Bagel. You know, Absolute Bagel closed, and now there's a new Absolute Bagel with all the people who used to work at Absolute Bagel to make bagels again.
Does Joe want to run that down to my house?
I know. I'm like, well, let's bring one to Julie because there's no way I'm going to eat this.
No, because all I'm getting is text messages from my son being like, "What can I have for breakfast? What can I?"
So John Lithgow. So who was the Russell Crowe? I've heard is the better one.
Russell Crowe is a good Roger Ailes.
Yeah,
that was
in loudest voice in the room.
The loudest voice in the room. Which if you have Showtime,
everyone, if you have not seen Loudest Voice in the Room,
very
that is so good. And Gabe Sherman, great writer, incredible journalist, wrote the book, worked on the show. That's the gold standard of like that. That's it, much better. Funny enough, my ex-boyfriend's kid plays Roger Ailes' son in that show. Isn't it so weird? I turned it on. And I was like, wait, what?
Oh, plays Roger Ailes' son.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that son.
Yeah. Right. Crazy.
I'm gonna take a big swig of my tea and not say anything.
Yeah, I've heard. Anyway,
so well, you haven't heard from me because I can't say anything.
No, I mean, like, listen, anytime you like look up the wife or the kid, and also like in both the show and that movie, I'll talk because I never met these people. They always seem like very unhinged, entitled people who want to bring their points of view to the masses. And I would hate to be one of the people. Oh, I watched another documentary recently about the people who lived in that town where they lived and bought the local newspaper and like terrorized these people. It was like crazy. And he would show up at like the town halls, and he tried to put money behind like the conservative people running for like city council, and like the whole town hated him. And like, yeah. Anyways, but I go watch that because that was pretty good.
Yeah, Loudest Voice is very good.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
Another question I was going to ask you. You're an iPhone person because we text and it has blue bubbles. Have you gotten the update on the
Yes.
iPhone yet with the glass things?
Yes.
Did you know that's not CGI and that's not computer generated.
What do you mean?
So, okay, there is a whole like thing that people are talking about this, how all of these companies are going out of their way to make these like AI generated pieces of content, ads, whatever it is. Coca-Cola, I promise there's a point here. Coca-Cola made an ad for Christmas this past year. And it had, I think it was that over 100 or 150 people worked on it. I think they said it was like 70,000 prompts or something. Now, people don't know AI. It's like you have to tell it to do something, right? So that's a prompt. So imagine there's 70,000 of them to make something. And this is what the ad looked like.
And these are, wait a second, these are human prompts, like people are prompts,
Yeah.
human beings
Yeah.
are 70,000.
Prompts into AI to make this ad that was still shitty.
Why don't they just make the ad at that point themselves?
Ooh, exactly. So here's the Coca-Cola ad. Here we go.
Holidays are coming, holidays are coming, holidays are coming. 'Tis the season, it's always Coca-Cola.
Now there's a much longer version of that exists. I'm not going to bore people with it, but all those people are not real. Nothing is real. It's all AI generated, and it cost a fortune. Ridiculous. And then look at this. This is what they did over at Apple. That's all like the Apple,
I don't
all that
mind
stuff.
that. I like that one.
But it's like, I don't want to say handmade, but like they actually took a piece of glass, photographed it, lit it, like took the time to make something that was real,
Yeah, that
that
was
lives
good.
digitally. And I was like, that's so creative and thoughtful and beautiful.
Yeah.
And
So this, I'm looking at this glass stuff.
yeah,
I didn't realize that.
yeah. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
And like, that's all. I mean, yes, like obviously there's like post you know, thing. It was like the spinning chromatic aberration effect. Yeah. So obviously they put it into effects or stuff, but the origins is real. So you look at that and like what Apple did creatively to make something like that. And then you look at Coca-Cola and these other companies who are doing this. And it's like, I just really think that people are going to reject the AI created things, because it's like there's no pulse to any of it. It's terrible. So when I was out last night with Anna and I looked down at my phone and it was like off, and I was like, why is my phone off? And it was updating and I didn't know that it was updating. And so I turned it back on and I realized this and was like, oh, and then I had remembered seeing that video about them photographing the Apple logos. And I was actually, people have very strong feelings. They don't like it. They don't like this update, but I like it. What do you think? Do you like it?
I do. It's fine. I'm fine with it. I mean,
Yeah, I think it looks nice.
It is.
I don't know.
So
It's on the Apple TV as well.
I don't have well, I do have Apple TV, but not like that.
Yeah.
But you have YouTube TV, right? You don't even have cable anymore.
No, I haven't had cable in a decade. So we do Hulu Live subscription. So I watch TV through Hulu. But on the Apple TV, I have the YouTube app. I do pay the $14 a month for no ads on YouTube. It's worth it though, because I watch so much YouTube.
Okay.
I watch YouTube like people watch TV, but I have very specific things that I watch other than like obviously I watch the Bulwark and things, and I watch like C-SPAN and things.
Right.
But my relaxation things on YouTube are there's a guy who cleans rugs. It's amazing. He comes in. Have you seen these?
No.
In the chat, if you know what I'm talking about, give me a shout. This guy comes in. He's got this big like warehousey thing. It's all white. And he brings in like the dirtiest rug he's ever found. and it's a whole cleaning process, and it like goes on for like 45 minutes, and he uses all these different soaps, and then there's
Oh
like
my God. I'm
there's like
stressed
a
out just
washer
thinking about this.
thing.
Are you
No,
kidding?
it's not stressful. And then at the end, he has this beautiful rug, and he's like, it takes less resources for me to clean this rug than it does to make a new one. And it's like about sustainability, really, at the end of the day, and like cleaning these like old things that people had thrown away. It's pretty
All
cool.
right. Hold on. Hold
Yeah.
on. Somebody in the chat that just said this. What medieval historical stuff do you watch? I need to know immediately. Thank you very much. That's all my only
And also, I watch this other guy in Scotland who helps cows with their hooves. He goes to farms and like he'll file down the hooves of like 100 cows. But then, of course, there's always like one cow who's got like a problem. And he talks about how he fixes it and he gets the infection out and he helps the cow. And like they put the cow up in this contraption and it holds them so they can put their little feet back. I'm just saying, these are the things I watch before I go to bed. The horse people are good too, the people who do it for the horses, but I like the cows.
So it's interesting that you say this. I can't watch TV before I go to bed. I have to read, because if I watch TV before I go to bed, I can't. My mind doesn't calm down. But I have to read fiction or British royal gossip before I go to bed. Something that's completely unrelated.
Something that's like calming for the brain, like not having anything.
Right now, I'm reading the new James Patterson book, which, by the way, the new Alex Cross book, if anybody here has ever watched it or read it, rather, this one's not so good. So it's like a little boring, but usually they're very good. And James Patterson is like crack. You could read that stuff in like 2 seconds. It has nothing to do with your life, so it's great. It's like
it's like an escape, right?
It's a total escape. But I need to do that before I go to sleep, because otherwise my mind can't turn off. So
do you have like a little book light that you have?
No, I read it on my phone.
Oh.
I read it on Kindle on my phone.
Interesting. And the blue light doesn't bother you?
No. Yes. Oh, that's not the question. Yes, my husband does watch cable news in bed, and we are looking for a new apartment. And when we find one, I promise you, there will be no TV in my bedroom. Like I can't. No good. I can't. Yeah, because what he does is he watches it and then he turns it off. And then in 30 seconds he falls asleep.
Why do they do? I don't.
Men do this.
My husband too. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah,
snoring already.
And I'm like, what did I just watch? Why am I watching this? Why are they saying this? And I start thinking. Then I start like ruminating. Then I have to get out my computer and update my Substack column, because now I'm pissed off about something. And then it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, what am I still doing here? So yes, once we move and we hopefully have enough room to put a TV, where it's not in our bedroom, that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, I have a TV in my bedroom, but it's like I got the frame TV though, so it looks like art. So it's like I forget sometimes that it's there.
Oh, I didn't even know you could do that. Anyway.
Oh yeah, they make frames for it. But anyways, I totally. Then that's why I watch the hooves and the rug cleaning before I go to bed, because it's lovely.
But even like movies, I can't like, I think I need to.
Not even a movie you've seen like 1,000 times, like When Harry Met Sally or something.
Gotta read. Gotta read.
Interesting.
You know, I finally showed my husband When Harry Met Sally. He'd never seen it before. And he was like, what is this? I was like, well, I know.
Baby fish mouth. Yes, sir. That's my baby.
No, sir. Don't be baby. And he knew Nora Ephron, which makes it even worse.
What?
Yes.
I need to talk to Jerry. Jerry and I need to have a bourbon and discuss this.
Michelle, he's like knowing all your peeps.
I know. I'm having.
I know.
Yeah.
Sondheim, all of them.
Remember he said something about, he's like, oh, my kids love into the woods. And I was like, into the woods and through the, and I told you about that. And you were like, oh yeah, because he was friends with Stephen Sondheim. And I was like,
yeah.
Like, you know, one of my teachers / friends, her dad is Hal Prince, or was Hal Prince. Daisy.
Wow.
And yeah. And so Daisy, you know, she was one of like, I don't know if you could say mentor, but she like, anyways, Daisy Prince was very important to me. And so like that makes, and she would invite me to things and Steven Sondheim would be there. And like, it was just, but I never talked to him. And I was like, oh God, no, I'm like going to be that weird musical theater girl who's like,
I'm sure he probably would have appreciated it.
I don't know. I don't know that he would have. So I've seen him like a handful of times, like in the flesh, but I never talked to him. But then when you told me that Jerry was actually like friends with him, like knew him, I was like, what?
Yeah. No, he knew him. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like
So
that's crazy.
I know. He also was very good friends with David Halberstam, for anybody here who loves history or books. By the way, there was another shooting in Minneapolis right now, just so people know.
What?
Yes. The city of Minneapolis said it is aware of reports of another shooting involving federal law enforcement agents in the area of 26th Street W and Nicollet Avenue. I don't know. Multiple law enforcement sources.
You know what, let me check. Actually, I'm on a chat with people in Minneapolis on the ground. Hold on.
DHS tells Fox News, and who knows this is true, the suspect was armed with a gun, which has been recovered by federal agents. Now, do you believe anything that this White House tells you? I do not. Tim Waltz.
Oh God.
just
Oh
tweeted out.
God. I'm
Tim
reading.
Waltz-
Okay.
Yeah,
So again,
Tim
these
Waltz.
people, this is like half. What?
Tim Waltz just tweeted out that he just spoke to the White House again.
Oh,
And
sorry, I don't know if that's you or me.
what?
You started to go like it.
Oh, sorry.
It
Well-
glitched, but I don't know if that's me or if that's you.
Okay, well, Tim Walz just tweeted out, I just spoke with the White House after another horrific shooting by federal agents this morning. Minnesota has had it. This is sickening. The president must end this operation. Put the thousands of violent, untrained officers out of Minnesota now.
Okay, so this is what I'm getting from people on the ground in Minneapolis. A federal agent opened fire on a man in Minneapolis neighborhood in South Minneapolis on Saturday morning. A Bring Me to the News reporter was near the scene and said an agent opened fire at a man outside Glam Doll Donuts on Nicollet Avenue around 9 a.m. Video from our reporter reveals that multiple shots were fired, with the agent believed to be just a few feet away from the man when he was struck. There's video. I'm not looking at it. I refuse. People making comparisons to Rodney King in the way that they pummeled on him. Yeah, they're saying he was armed, but DHS saying, like, you can't believe anything they say. He appears to sit up when he's shot, or he appears to sit up when he's shot. What I can't tell is if he was reaching for the officer's gun in that split second. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Yeah.
What are we going to do? Yeah, there's video. There's video. There's video. I certainly am not going to show anything here until I vet it first, just knowing what I'm going to. I try to look away from this stuff, like not like in a way that I don't want to. I'm trying to avoid it, but just sometimes, you know, when you see things that are really awful and graphic and it's like you can't ever unsee them, even if you see them by accident. And I try to be mindful of that, at least for myself sometimes. I think I never saw the Charlie Kirk video.
So what's fascinating is they're saying that he had a gun. I don't know if that's true or not because I don't believe a goddamn thing that they tell us. But let's assume that it is true for a
No.
moment. These are the people who pushed the Second Amendment. So what's wrong with him having a gun?
Mm-hmm.
Did he pull it out on anybody?
Yep.
Did he aim at the ICE officer, or did he have a gun that he was legally allowed to have in his pants? I mean, we keep getting told that that's okay, right? We keep getting told that everybody should have a gun for self-protection from government tyranny.
Yeah, the Black Panthers are out in the streets with bigger guns than the ICE agents have.
Good.
Yeah, good.
And who is this person? Who is this person? That's the part, was he a citizen?
I'm gonna put up a banner here. This is awful. God damn it.
Well, apparently this person, and I don't know if this is true, but he was being whipped in the head with a pepper spray canister, and you can see the agent pull his gun while the man is face down and unload into his head, and then continue to shoot him 6 to 7 more times while he's on the ground, not moving.
V from Under the Desk News is reporting that he is dead.
He's dead. Yeah, yes, he is dead. Sorry, guys. This was supposed to be a Saturdays for Sanity. Let's all talk about Prince Harry.
Yeah, I know. I was going to show a video about making fun of Brooklyn Beckham's photography book, but that just seems very silly now. Yeah.
Again, don't forget, if you want to sign up to be an ICE agent, they don't really vet you. They say they do, but as we saw from that Slate article, they don't. And then they hand you a gun, and they recruit, let me be clear again, from white supremacy to white supremacists for white supremacists.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
At which point do people rise up?
Yeah, what's it going to take? And that's one of the things that the Holocaust survivor that talked to us last night said, that there were so many people. It wasn't until they started to come kind of from more people that weren't Jews that people started to sit up and pay attention.
It wasn't until they started to come. It really wasn't until the Russians crossed the Elbe and proceeded to rape all the women in Germany between the ages of 10 and 100 that I think they understood what Hitler had done to them.
Mm-hmm. Anna was going off last night too. She was like, I'm so sick and tired of people saying that people didn't know, or the rest of the world didn't know that the camps were happening. She was like, yes, they did. She was like, and she goes, maybe the 18-year-old soldiers on the ground didn't know. She's like, but everybody knew. And she said, to the point that the people in the camps were trying to get a message out to the Allies. Please bomb the camps, knowing that they were going to die. They're like, end this.
Yep.
We will die. Come and just bomb it.
Yep.
And
we chose not to. And I will say this. I have been to 2 death camps. I have been to Auschwitz and I have been to Dachau. And I will tell you right now, Dachau is right outside Munich. Like we took a bus there or a train or something. It's a suburb. It is in the middle of this town of Dachau. It's a town. It's a nice little town with a death camp in the middle of it. Like, you know exactly what was there. In the same way that if you lived, in some town in the United States with a big prison, you'd know the prison was there as well. Auschwitz, my friends, was the worst place I've ever been to, and worse than anything I could have even imagined in my dreams. And the crematoria at Birkenau, which was the death part of Auschwitz, because Auschwitz I, which is what we know as Auschwitz with the famous gate, Arbeit frei.
With the upside down E, right?
Yeah, that was more of a work camp. They had a crematoria there, but if you were there, you were working. If you went
Mhm.
to the horror, the place that we think of as Auschwitz was actually a few kilometers away in Birkenau,
Mm. Mm.
otherwise known as Auschwitz II, I think. And that's where the train track stopped,
Right.
in the big tower, and Mengele was there, sending you to the right or to the left. And the crematoria there abutted a barbed wire fence, and right below and beyond that barbed wire fence was
Mhm.
our normal little houses where Polish
Mhm.
people lived.
Mhm.
And all I could think is when the ashes were
Mhm.
coming down on you from the crematoria
Yep.
onto your yard,
Yep.
you could smell the bodies burning.
Mhm.
And I'm telling you, because this has been on my mind so much lately,
Mhm.
we are those Polish people.
Mhm.
We are those people living in Dachau who say, what a shame. Oh no.
Yeah.
And then we move on with our day.
And there were people
Because
who
we're
tried to
here.
fight back. There were people like us speaking out, and they were ignored. There were people who escaped the camps and ran 100 miles and told the story of what they saw, how it worked, what the industrialization of it was, and people didn't believe them.
Believe this. None of this is secret. They're telling us exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're telling us exactly what they're doing.
Mhm.
The final solution to the Jewish problem was a secret conference of Wannsee, and they didn't tell normal Germans about it,
Mhm.
right? These people are telling us what they're doing.
Mhm.
They're shooting innocent people in plain sight. Now, we don't know the circumstances of what just happened in Minneapolis, so I want to withhold judgment until then.
Mhm.
But I will say that Renee Good, we all saw what happened.
Yep.
We all saw what happened. And this Justice Department is not prosecuting the killer, but they are investigating her wife. What is it going to take, my friends? What is it going to take for us to say no more? For us to stop saying, we're not going to sit by and allow this to happen to our fellow human beings? Is a little Ecuadorian boy less of a human than your little boy?
Yeah.
Is Renee Good less of a wife than your wife? Less of a mother than your mother?
Mhm. We shouldn't need personal connections to things to give a shit about
We're
other human
all
beings.
humans.
Yeah.
We're all humans, and I don't understand what we haven't learned from history.
Yep. And the Democrats voted to give them more funding
Yep,
because they're afraid of losing an election.
because they don't know how to communicate, and they're worried they're going to be portrayed as something that they're not.
Yeah.
Michelle, why don't we say goodbye for now?
Yeah.
We might be back later today, depending on what happens. I think we probably
Yeah.
will.
I just want to read this from one of the chats really quick before we go. I'm just trying to get a picture of what happened here, and these are people that I trust what they're saying. This DHS is saying he had a gun, which I guess gives them the right to upload their guns into a man who was shot and motionless on the ground. What? And another person said that's bullshit. He was being whipped in the head with a pepper spray canister. And you can see the agent pull his gun while the man is face down and unload into his head and then continue to shoot him 6 or 7 more times while he is on the ground, not moving. There is no vetting. There is no training. There is no psych evaluation. In fact, they welcome it for you to be a moron, white supremacist.
They're recruiting
Yeah.
white supremacists because the memes they're using are specifically geared to be dog whistles to white supremacists. The rest of us,
This is final. So like it's not that. That's not what I meant. I meant what's the white the replacement.
yes,
That's what I meant. That's what I meant. Yeah.
You guys, the people who marched with tiki torches in 2018 saying
Mhm.
Jews will not replace us through Charlottesville,
Mhm.
dollars to donuts. Many of them are ICE agents now.
Yep. That's
Given,
why look, we're not hearing from the Proud Boys.
given a weapon by the United States government at taxpayer expense to do this. These Jews will not replace us rallies have now become government sanctioned death rallies,
Mhm.
death operations where they're shooting people in the head.
Yep. And I did hear this also. The recruitment, they're putting, I forget how much, like it was like million something dollars into this recruitment digital advertising, paid advertising. They're doing geo-targeting, geo-fencing to country music concerts, NASCAR, all of these kinds of things, in addition to digital targeting, just ad placement online with like, data and demo stuff. But they're actually doing geofencing and geo-targeting to specific places, knowing that they're going to go find people at country music concerts and car racing, like things like that.
Yep. Okay.
Anyways, okay, guys.
All right, you
this-
guys.
what-
We'll probably be back at some point today. Let us just get to the
Yeah,
bottom of
I
it.
hate to say like and subscribe, so I'll just say subscribe. If you subscribe to this channel, you'll get a little ding if we're gonna schedule something. So that's probably the best way to know with my limited knowledge of how to set these things up. So guys, sorry this is ending on such a shitty note.
Yeah.
This is not the point of the show at all. But Julie, I'll talk to you later. Guys, everybody go take care of yourselves and
We'll talk to you all later once we get to the
Yeah.
bottom of what's happening.
yeah.
All right, everybody. See ya. Bye.
Bye.